Hey everybody, I am Keaton. This is Kid Catholic Season 6, Episode 2. Before I go, I want to give a shout out to Mrs. Diaz's class in Sacramento, California, to the 5th graders over there. Thank you guys so much for watching my videos. And if you follow my social medias, then you would know that I recently got this expander thing on the roof of my mouth that makes me talk with a little bit of a lisp. The first couple days of the lisp was absolutely horrible. It's gotten a lot better. However, if you hear me mess up on some S's or something, that's why. It's because I have this thing in my mouth that's making me talk with a lisp. And now that I'm actually doing Kid Catholic, I'm noticing that the lisp is a lot more present than I thought. So that's great. That's going to be great. And as of when this video is uploaded, today, I am getting braces. Today. Yay. I absolutely can't wait. So, just a quick life update there. That's going to be great. I need to enjoy these last few moments without braces on my teeth. Anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about today. Today, I'm here to talk to you guys about the liturgical seasons. About the liturgical seasons. I know they were always confusing for me. You have Advent, you have Lent, you have Christmas, you have Easter, you have Ordinary Time, all these different seasons, and they're all different colors. I remember when I was younger and I'd be at Mass, and they'd always have these different colors, and I always wondered, when will they just choose one color to stick with? They would have green for a long time, and I thought that's what was permanent until they would switch it immediately. So I'm going to talk to you guys today about the full liturgical calendar, the full liturgical year, every single season in it. The beginning of the liturgical year is the season of Advent. Advent is a 4-week period leading up to Jesus' birth. Now, the 4 weeks represent the 4,000 years of salvation history that we humans were awaiting Jesus. This list is really bothering me because I thought that it was like sort of there, not really, but it's so much more present. Like I talked about actually during the real season of Advent, it's not necessarily a joyful time, even though it can be associated with it, because it's Jesus' birth. Everybody is happy. It's also the preparation for Jesus' second coming, because he's coming again. He came once, which is what we remember in Advent. He's coming again, so Advent can be used as a motivator to prepare for his second coming, because he could come at any time. And the color for Advent is purple. And the reasons why it is purple is because it represents royalty, the royalty of Jesus. It also represents fasting and preparation, which is what we do throughout the season of Advent, preparation for Jesus' second coming. Now, there is an Advent wreath with 4 candles on it, yeah? You have 3 purples and a pink. Well, for the 4 weeks, 3 of the 4 weeks are the color purple, but the third one is specifically the color pink, or technically rose. Now, rose represents more joy, because we know that Jesus is getting close. It's getting closer, you know. We've done 2 weeks, and there's only 2 weeks left to go, sort of the midway point, right? We are getting closer to Jesus' coming, which is why that they use rose for the third Sunday. And then, after Advent, just on Christmas Day, doesn't mean that Christmas is over, because there's still a lot more Christmas to come. And we all know that Christmas begins on Christmas Eve. Christmas begins when we wake up and Santa's here, right? The liturgical season begins on Christmas. That much is obvious. But when does the Christmas season end? Well, that one is a bit more complicated. Now, the Feast of the Epiphany, which is on January 6th, or some places can move it to the 2nd or to the 8th, depending on the nearest Sunday. The Feast of the Epiphany is what is commonly known as the ending of as the ending of the Christmas season. It's what a lot of people think it is, like their 12 days of Christmas, right? Because you have December 25th up to January 6th, and that's where the song 12 Days of Christmas comes from. But that's actually not true. You know, the Feast of the Epiphany is the 3 wise men or magi. When they brought their gifts to Jesus, that's when people think that the Christmas season ends. However, technically, the season doesn't end until the Sunday after that, the baptism of Jesus, when Jesus is baptized in the Jordan River. That is when the Christmas season ends, and the next ordinary time begins before Lent. So even though it's a common thing that it ends on the Feast of the Epiphany, it really doesn't. It ends on the Feast of Jesus' Baptism, the Sunday after the Feast of the Epiphany. And then after Advent, we have ordinary time. A lot of people, just because they hear ordinary time, think, oh, well, then it's ordinary, nothing special, because we can hear that word ordinary and we can think that. That's not true. Every single Mass is extraordinary, and it's really important to remember that. Just because it's ordinary time doesn't mean it's completely ordinary. Sure, Jesus' death isn't coming up, Jesus' birth isn't coming up, but it's still an extraordinary time. The liturgical color for it is green, and green represents hope. And so green represents hope that the priest wears and the altar is decorated with during ordinary time. And ordinary time is actually the longest one. There are little spurts of ordinary time. It's really ordinary time is a time when no other liturgical season is going on. It's not an Advent, Lent, Easter, or Christmas, then it's ordinary time. And then after that ordinary time, we come to the season that we are in right now, the season of Lent. Lent is a 40-day period starting with Ash Wednesday that we experienced a little bit ago, and leading up to Resurrection Sunday, which is when the season officially ends. The season of Lent, I'm not going to get too much into it because I did explain it in my past couple of videos. It is the season that we are in right now. It's a 40-day period because Jesus fasted in the desert for 40 days. And while, yes, Advent, like I said, you could look at that as a joyful time, Lent, nope, it's not a joyful time whatsoever. It's leading up to Jesus' passion, the Last Supper, the death of Jesus, Palm Sunday, right, Resurrection Sunday, a very sad time, a time of fasting, of abstaining, of preparation for Jesus' passion. That is coming very, very soon. Now, Lent begins on Ash Wednesday and ends on Easter Sunday, but as to why it is Ash Wednesday, why Ash Wednesday is the date that it is, it's a bit complicated, and it's like a mathematical algorithm type complicated thing, but what they do is they set the date of Easter, and then they go back 46 days from Easter to determine when Ash Wednesday is. It's 40 days because Jesus fasted in the desert for 40 days. Something I want to point out, something that I love about Catholicism, is that everything has a meaning. Like what I've listed right here about the liturgical seasons, everything has a meaning, right? We don't just pick a color to pick a color, or pick an amount of days to pick an amount of days, right? Everything has a meaning behind it, which I've always thought was really cool. We don't just do something to do something. Every single Catholic teaching has a meaning behind it in some way or form, and I've always loved that. Now, the color during Lent is, again, purple, like Advent, to represent fasting, preparation, because that's what the color purple represents. Also, the royalty of Jesus. However, during Lent, there is the Triduum, Holy Week, right? Holy Week starts with Palm Sunday and goes through the resurrection of Jesus. Now, Holy Week is the most emotional time in the liturgical year out of anything. Good Friday, actually, during Holy Week, is the only day throughout the entire liturgical year where no Mass is offered. It's on Good Friday. And so it is a very emotional time, and so some people sort of consider the Holy Triduum as a separate sort of season, not really part of a separate season in and of itself. Like you have Advent, you have Lent, you have the Holy Triduum. But that's not true. It's still technically a part of Lent. However, the colors are different for it. So the colors for that started on Palm Sunday, and the next 3 days of Holy Week is the color red, because Jesus' passion is coming. But then on Holy Thursday, white or gold is worn to celebrate the miracle of the Last Supper, right? The institution of the Eucharist. Because, again, while Holy Week is a very emotional time, while Lent is a very emotional time, it can be something to celebrate the gift of the Eucharist that God has given us, that Jesus instituted at the Last Supper. And so white or gold is worn during Holy Thursday. However, on Good Friday, red or black is worn. But then, like, at the end of Holy Thursday, the mood changes abruptly. From white and gold and all these decorations, the altar is stripped, the colors are black or red. It gets, the mood changes like that. So, and then the end of Holy Week, Easter Sunday, is white or gold, because that's a very joyful time. Now, right there, Easter Sunday, that is the end of Lent and the beginning of the next liturgical season, which is the Easter season. It is beginning on Easter Sunday and ending on Pentecost Sunday. From Jesus' resurrection, then he ascended, right? And it ends on Pentecost Sunday, which I talked about a little bit ago when I discussed confirmation, right, Pentecost Sunday is a time when the Holy Spirit came upon the apostles when they were scared in the upper room. They didn't know where to go, what to do. They went out and spread the gospel, and actually Pentecost Sunday is sort of referred to as the birthday of the Catholic Church. So Pentecost Sunday is the official end of the Easter season, and then we get back into ordinary time. Now, the colors during the Easter season are white or gold because it's a joyful time, right? But the very end, Pentecost Sunday, can be replaced with red to symbolize the Holy Spirit. Yeah, and then we go back into ordinary time, and then that completes the full circle. So that's a full liturgical year. The colors, what everything means. Again, everything means everything. So it's really cool to look into the liturgical year. I just think it's always fun to look at. So yeah, that's the liturgical year. That's the colors that happen, why we do it, what seasons are what, and there you go. So now that the topic is done, do y'all know what it's time for now? It's time for
the Saint of the Week!
So, for today's Saint of the Week, you would think that I'd tie it into the topic. That'd make it something to do with the liturgical year, or something to do with Holy Week, or liturgical colors. I could tie a saint into that. But I felt like I really needed this saint's help today. And in all seriousness, I need this saint's help today. Saint Apollonia, the patron saint of dentistry. See, I can't even pronounce dentistry because of the dentistry in my mouth. And I'm getting braces today, and so what better a saint to do than Saint Apollonia, right? Apollonia, though, actually has an absolutely incredible story. She was born in the 3rd century. She died in the year 249, and the account of her life is written by another awesome saint. And basically, what she was doing was, if she was a preacher in a time of hatred, in a time of persecution, she was an incredible martyr. And what happened was she was being tortured by guards, and they told her to renounce her faith, and she wouldn't, and she had all of her teeth pulled because of this. So, having all of her teeth pulled, compared to me just getting braces on, I can suck it up. Yeah, which is an absolutely amazing act of heroism, and she was threatened with fire, unless she renounced her faith. And she loved Jesus so much that she decided to jump into the fire voluntarily, which St. Augustine has called an act of sainthood and heroism, not an act of suicide like some other haters believe. So St. Apollonia's life is absolutely incredible. Her courage to just having all that happen and still be able to not renounce her faith, still be able to defend Jesus Christ, to defend her faith, her and every single martyr, the act of bravery. And we hear martyr stories a lot, and so sometimes it can seem like something that's normal, something that always happens, but it really doesn't. And so think about the bravery she had to go to. Just imagine if you were in this situation, if I was in this situation, right? If we were in this situation, what would we do? Would we be able to make that act of bravery, to make that next step of heroism? Would we be able to? And that is something that we need to look to St. Apollonia for. Also, if you're getting braces like me, or getting something done, dentistry work done on your teeth, you can pray to Saint. You can pray through St. Apollonia as well. She's an absolutely incredible saint who we can all look to. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Also, check out all 3 of my social medias, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. The link to all 3 of those will be in the description and in the comments below. Also, check out my website, kidcatholic.com. On there, I have all my videos on there. You can contact me. You can read about me. I have a photo gallery on there. You can also buy your very own Kid Catholic t-shirt, as well as get details about my speaking engagements, some recent topics that I've done, some of my quotes, and there's an actual full video up there of a talk that I gave at Marquette Catholic School. So if you want to go check that out, you can as well. If you're not already, please click the red subscribe button down below and the bell next to it. That way you get notified when I come out with a new video. If your friends and family don't know about Kid Catholic, please share this video or channel with your friends and family. Make sure that they know about Kid Catholic. How are you doing with what you gave up for Lent? Is it going well? Please let me know in the comments down below. Also, if you have any saint or topic suggestions, listen, I can't pronounce suggestions as it is without this expander. How am I going to do it with it? If you have any suggestions on a saint or topic, please leave it in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. This was Kid Catholic Season 6, Episode 2. I will see y'all next week. And hi, Brio!